Greetings. How's it going, everybody? I hope you are enjoying yourself. Well, today we're going to be chatting with, right now we got me and Dan on right now, and if anyone else jumps on, they'll jump on too. I know Tech is working on some files, so he'll be prodding around here in the chat, but we'll be continuing on where we left off last time. I just fixed my camera a little bit. There we go. We're going to be continuing on where I left off last time, and we are going to be chatting about internet ads and things like that. Let me guys know if you like the new background. I think I want to lighten up the motherboard on the background, but it's definitely a nice improvement to the old style we used to have. So let me know if you guys like that new look there. So. Last time, if you remember, we were talking about, what are we talking about? Web browsers, right? That was like a year ago, wasn't it? I forget. It's like
Yeah.
crazier. The world's just going crazier. I mean, between bad stuff in Atlanta, like the blue flu happened. If you guys didn't see, the blue flu is going through Atlanta right now. It's really bad. It's only affecting police officers. They're all calling in sick because none of them actually want to go. The city's not going to back them up, which is interesting. And then, of course, stock up, guys, on your breakfast cereals because Uncle Ben's rice and Aunt Jemima's syrup is on the chopping block. Apparently, you cannot have successful black people in your marketing copy. And actually, about a month ago, Land O'Lakes, I heard, has removed the Native American from the cover. I was thinking about doing an entire section of the Weekly News Roundup this week, but I just don't know if I have time to round all these things up. Oh, of course, Marvel is apologizing for the Captain Marvel statue. Apparently, they have. What a world! What a world! I want to go up and join the people on the space station, just watch this nonsense from afar.
I kind of want to join you.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on in this world? We got Necromancer. How's it going there? He says, what ads? Well, you must be running one of them there ad blockers. Oil Boy, how's it going there? Greetings to you, Jimbo. Anyone else using AdGuard? Been getting in video skip and links at the beginning of videos for a couple days. Been using AdGuard for a long time. Never had that problem. Yeah, I don't know. They might be doing some things around different ways. Hey, Joe, would you like to jump on? If so, I'll shoot you something on Discord if I can still find your thing there. I see Joe just joined us here. Let me know, Joe, in the comments, and I will track down your Discord there. Let's see. Jeffrey, ad pop-ups. Methinks do not care if you're male, female, young, even child. We really don't need to see them. Yeah. That's true. That be true.
My mic is too loud.
Are you too loud? Go ahead, say something. Let me double check.
Hello.
You're just a little louder than I am. Let me back that down.
How about that?
There you go. That's good. I got it on my end.
I got a knob on the back for the volume.
Okay. Well, you were reading a little bit higher than I was. Am I on? Oh, I'm not on max. That's why. All right, crack me up. All right, let's see. Oh, you know why? Okay, yeah. I actually ran software updates this week. It's shocking. Probably the first time in like 6 months at least since I accidentally ran them last time. This time was on purpose. We had a 75% success rate. I updated 4 computers, and 3 of them came out okay, and 1 of them bit the dust. And so I did end up wiping 1 of my computers, and I'll do a separate video and a full comprehensive review on what I replaced that operating system with later on next week. But anyway, let's see. Seems the norm lately on YouTube just has to update something. They just keep on changing everything around. Give me a few, eating a quick snack. All right, I'll go ahead and send it to you if I can find your... let's see, where are you at? There you are. That would be you. All right. Well, whenever you get around, Joe, I sent you a link. I know Tech Haberdashy is fighting with files on Fedora. I guess that he will probably be wiping that. Tech, are you there? Or you said you're wiping that, right? Not sure where anyone else is, but hey, it's getting hot and it's beginning the summer, so I have no life, so I'm always going to be here.
There's a guy on that Big Daddy Telegram that was doing Fedora work too. He was upgrading, I guess, to the next version. He was having some trouble with it. It was not playing nice.
Yeah, there's been some times that's one of the challenges on it is it'll get kind of crazy.
You got me wondering if they're the same guy.
MX Linux has built-in ad block stuff. It's awesome. Yes, they do indeed. DT did a video about FreeBSD. Very good. All right. I know internet sites are now requiring updates to browsers. I know. It's crazy. It's like the biggest one is like I have a client that uses Shopify and I have to get in there and mess with Shopify stuff. Oh, that site irritates me. Because like I need to get in there with special developer tools to figure out what in the world the problem is so I can track stuff down. Well, I can't use it on my browser that uses development tools because the development tools were discontinued on modern browsers. And, it's like the Firefox has these, use our built-in tools are far better. No, Firefox, your built-in tools are like garbage compared to the tools that I have. So I still run old versions of web browsers, and I'm encountering more and more sites that I can't update very easily because now I have to fight with those. And so it's going to be like working with GoDaddy. I might charge you a little bit more if you're working with GoDaddy because of the headaches I know are coming. Let's see.
Web browsers are giving us a big pain on the other end for us that got to use them, because like Firefox, they roll out an update every single month and you don't know what you're going to get. And when you do get it, you either like it or you don't like it. And at the end of the day, it just makes the browser more bloated.
Yeah, for me, it's like in that new Firefox, I don't know what it is. That Firefox URL bar just fills my heart with loathing and hate. I don't know. I don't understand it. Maybe it's the fact that I like specialize in UI UX design, and so like I gotta have things on the front page of the web browser looking really good, and it just pops out like a sore thumb. It's like, dude. But apparently I'm crazy because most of you guys think I'm just nuts. But that's okay. I can be crazy, I guess. So let's go ahead and dive on in. I was hoping Sleepy Eyes Vince would at least jump in to see this part. He'll have to catch the beginning because he was asking this question last week about how do you, is it possible to show ads just on your favorite YouTubers and not on others? And I actually did find a couple solutions to this. One of those is using AdBlock, which I'm not sure I would recommend using AdBlock because I believe they're putting in some crazy, not as good stuff anymore. But nevertheless, AdBlock actually has a system built in exclusively for it. So if you are using AdBlock, so one solution is you could use AdBlock and disable it everywhere but YouTube, and then just enable AdBlock on YouTube and use their filtering tool.
AdBlock Ultimate, I think, ships with Firefox.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, because I think when I first installed Firefox in this machine, it came with it, and I disabled it and went to the uBlock origin.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm looking at my add-ons right now. I also use Privacy Badger.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have that.
Whatever your feelings are on that, some comments would be helpful.
Yeah, that one's by that's EFF, I believe, right? Which I think is actually overall a decent product. Now it's not an ad blocker per se; it's more of a tracker blocker. So you need to use Privacy Badger in coordination with other things as well. Now, for you using uBlock Origin, it is actually possible, according to them, to whitelist specific YouTube channels. It looks like as though it could be a little bit more difficult. Let me go ahead and expand on this guy here. I'll drop this guy here in the comments. So you can actually see this here. So open add-ons manager, find uBlock, click show blast dashboard, click whitelist, type in the following youtube.com, and then star user equals, and then you use your channel name. So you got to find out what the channel name is. Now he has here the like this example. I think that even if like the channel name here is /switchedtolinux, but even the internal system, I don't think the switch to Linux is what you'd want there. I think you'd want the big URL chain that it gives you. But in theory, I mean, this guy's saying, hey, this doesn't work for me. This is a 3-year-old post. It might be worth trying, but that's actually the best I was able to find. Of course, again, AdBlock does actually have that feature by default. So
while we're talking about ads, let's bring some ad facts into light here. Okay, suppose I block a YouTuber's, or I just block all YouTube ads. Now, when let's say I'm watching one of your videos, does it affect your income because it's blocked?
Yes. Yes, it does.
So for all my favorite YouTubers, I should turn the uBlock Origin off and let the ads run so they get paid.
Yeah, or or if you're using YouTube, just let's see, I can't say blacklist anymore. GitHub, by the way, is banning the word blacklist now. Um, Lord, it's like, what is it? Allow list? I think it's allow list. You can allow list it. YouTube, I guess.
Because this is something that never gets talked about. And that's why I'm bringing out in the open now, is because nobody knows what happens from the YouTubers, content creators
Correct.
point of view on his side. And unless someone like me comes out and asks, we don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So if you do use an ad blocker, it will actually prevent it. Of course, if you're paying for YouTube Red, we actually do get it, regardless if you're using an ad blocker or not. We should see ad revenue for that. Is YouTube Red still a thing? I think it's still a thing. I don't know.
I don't know. They had a premium one time.
Yeah,
they try and sell me all kinds of different stuff.
I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, it does affect income. But honestly, that's why things like like Patreon are handy and things. Although, with the ads, you're not paying anything, just 15 seconds. Of course, YouTube is making it a little bit more annoying in that they're they're putting pretty much all about you're putting pretty much all about the where my train of thought has derailed. Apparently, it's been a crazy day, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just like, oh, my brain is dying. Joe, I sent the link to your Discord username. I don't think I have your email handy, but I did have your Discord handy. So yeah, it will, but if you're able to use Patreon or other direct support services, those are handy as well. But it's okay, and I'm okay one way or the other, honestly. Let's see. I got some more comments up here. Looks like Joe might be joining on here soon.
Is it safe to turn your ad blocker off to watch a content creator's video that you like?
Is if you turn it off and reload the page, that should work. Yeah. See, Brave browser automatically blocks ads even on YouTube videos. Yes. Chrome Store has YouTube ad blocker too. Ooh, okay, go ahead.
I got a notebook here. It's my Pep book, and I installed Peppermint. I think I told this story half a dozen times, but it's got Peppermint 64-bit on it, and it has Firefox, not the latest version, but it has no ad blockers or nothing installed in it. And I couldn't believe the amount of ads when I'm watching a video and the kind of ads that you get. You don't only get the initial beginning ad with the little skip thing at the end to show a commercial. While you're watching the video, you get a big box in the middle of the guy's face while he's trying to create your content for you. You get the little icon at the top, click on this for the next video, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, the ads are actually ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have pure unfettered ad access, that's a little frightening.
I think that's what people get annoyed about the most is the ads right in the middle of the video content that come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh boy. Here's another pivot. So ads, like I have the ad blocking system that I have around here. I do allow some ads through. I do find the most aggressive stuff, and I block the most aggressive ads. And that's why I'll still show a few here and there. But the biggest problem I have with it's like we would not have a problem with all these ad blockers and all these sites wouldn't have to be so aggressive with playing whack-a-mole with advertising if they just had appropriate ads. If I'm clicking on your link, it's because I want to see what your website says. I don't want an autoplay video, a pop-up overlapping, give us your email address, 16 things across the middle, and an ad every 3 words. And that's only slightly hyperbole, honestly. So
the page where you get a little video box in the corner and it's running, but it's muted most of them are muted by default, but it's still playing a video. If you go to another tab, is that thing still playing in that tab while you're watching another one?
It might be.
That's the
So
consumption of resources in your computer.
correct. It's consuming bandwidth. It's consuming your resources, making everything run slower. It's just having a bad experience. So the thing is that if ads were not so crazy, we wouldn't have that big of a deal. Like there's the one site I get a lot of my free and open source and public domain or just open license fonts for various projects. I'm like, you know what? I use this site a lot. I'm going to whitelist this. This is on my work computer where I actually do run ad blockers. So I'm like, I'm going to whitelist this site, allow it to show me the ads, give them a little bit of revenue because I like what their site does. So I load the site at the first time and it literally crashes my browser on a fairly beefy computer because of so many ads are running. I'm like, screw you. You'll just stay blacklisted then. It's like it's like this, they wanted to go so far into it that they're just not willing to we want to go so far into it that it just causes everyone to just push you away. And that's kind of what the problem was. So that's the case.
The joke's on them. I don't have any money, so whatever they're showing me, I'm not going to be able to buy.
Yeah. Joe, did you get in there? I sent the link to your Discord. I think that was you on Discord. So let me know. Let's see. I can possibly send you an email if you need. Let's see. All right. Okay. Well, anyway. Oh, not seeing a link. Okay.
You looking for Joe's email?
Yeah, I sent it on the DM, Joe. Wait, hold on, Joe. I think I have a better solution for you. Hold on, Joe. Let's see, roles. Okay, Joe, I added you to the supporter role, so on Discord you should be able to access the supporter channel now in there, and I did drop the link in there. I think I did anyway. Let me double check. Yeah, see if Joe, I added you to the supporter role.
Do you have his email? Because I can put it in the Hangouts window.
No, because I don't have an email client on this computer. That's why I run the other one over there.
I can use the messenger with the
yeah. So yeah, Joe, I did DM it to your user account, but I also made you a supporter, and it's right in the supporter channel there, which is just directly under the live chat once you have the role enabled. All right. All right. Let's see. I got something else to do. Let's see if we can find us there. All right, so using two-piled backend to solve many problems using Quad 1 and Quad 9. All right. Okay, you can put you in our ads on YouTube. Yeah, as long as if they're over 15 seconds, they do allow you to skip them, which is really annoying, but oh well, I'll take it. I like supporting the YouTube guys. So if you're running ads, I generally I'll use the ads to go on my coffee runs or something. So let's see. Bill would support if you have the PayPal account. Hey, I appreciate you watching anyway, man, and commenting and stuff. So that's always cool too. All right. Mint 19.3 Firefox doesn't come with stuff, but it's the first thing. Yeah. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some people don't like that Linux Mint changes Firefox around a little bit. See, last time I tried
Debian, you get ESR.
Yeah, there you go. Last time I tried a browser without AdBlock, I was still using Chrome and Windows 10 had just come out. That was a long time ago. Add as long to the content. I'm not the scumbag for using AdBlock. I agree with you. Unfortunately, I can't specify what ads I get and things like that. Brave Browser Few now plays YouTube and pre-roll ads. Let's see. Hey, Joe, how's it going?
It took me long enough to figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Joe.
How you doing? I'm not used to some of this stuff on Discord, so I apologize for that.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
Discord's one of them things. None of us are 100% professionals with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it's using my monitor speakers too, which is weird.
Yeah. That's
Oh, Discord,
does
there's a weird way you can set that up so you have push to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after the show, I can help you with that if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to. I needed to get something to hold me over, and I went to eat right away. Well, I had a tooth pulled last week, and of course I bit
Ouch.
down on the wrong spot, so it's
Oh, ouch.
my mouth's a little sore right now.
Yeah. What is your take on internet ads and things like that?
Well, if you're like you were saying, I was listening to some of the things you were saying earlier. If they're being pushed on you hard to the point of being obnoxious, I don't like that. If they're being tastefully done, and like you said, you want to follow a link through and go to it, I'm all good with that. And especially with I'm guilty of it myself. I've for a long time I had the ad blocker on here and I forgot and I never take it off. And then I realized that some of the, like your channel and a lot of the other guys' channels, that I forgot to turn the filters off. So now I've since done that to try to help, because along with me, I don't do monthly support for everybody regularly. I'll do something maybe at the beginning of the year, that I've done a super chat or do something like that, and just because, if you want to support everybody, it can get rather expensive. So to me, I just try to make it a point to give everybody that I follow and I'm friends with at least one good donation, or at least something decent, that would make up, whether it's $10 or $20 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then with the ads, that adds on top of that, so, but I mean, I get it. I get that people or businesses want to make money, but if you think about the internet as a whole, when you get on there, that's what's slowing down these browsers, is everything else that's got to preload.
Yeah.
And
that's
it takes you. Yeah. So it makes it harder to get to the task at hand, if that makes sense, which I think it does.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously I do run some ads on some things. I try and keep it, as clean and simple and streamlined as possible. So, if you head on over to the Switch to Linux site, of course, my system does block some Google ads and not others. So there's generally an ad there. And I think there's a couple ads thrown in, I think maybe on the blog posts. If I click in on a blog post or something, you can, I think there's an ad. Yeah, there's an ad on the sidebar as well, and one on the bottom. But, having two on a page, I try not to do anything more than that, because it becomes obsessive and annoying. And sometimes I can't change what's there. So my Christian site, actually, my new Christian site, the only place I run ads is actually, I think, on the blog post pages. So you can see the ads on the blog post pages there, either on the blog archive or here. I don't think I have them anywhere else, but so I do have some ads on things. Of course, Think Life Media has ads unless you log in. If you log in, the ads disappear. So, I coded that one neat.
Well, and most people that we're supporting, you have less of a problem with it, because you want to be able to do there and be there and do things for them, and I'm fine with that. Yeah. It's just when you get, you always talk about Facebook, but that's a classic example where you keep getting these spam ads that pop up. Or now another thing that Facebook's done, which I'm on it mostly because of, with family and, some other things, it's one of those ties that I just haven't been able to cut. But now they've done an update where every time you log in, it wants you to save the password. And I keep clicking no, but every single time it's there. There's no option that you can't permanently do it. It's either not now or okay, and I hate that. So
yeah. Now, is that on the web browser, or is that Facebook itself?
That's Facebook itself. Well, in the browser itself, Facebook through the browser. But I still, and I know there's ways of blocking some of this stuff, but the truth of the matter is, the best way to block is I just don't go on nearly as often anymore. Yeah. It's really sad though. A lot of people, instead of picking up the phone these days, they'll Facebook message you, and then if you don't check for a few days and you don't see the message, then they're wondering why you didn't get back to them. And I said, pick up the phone.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
I have a relative on the other side of the country in Arizona. I can't get him to call me for nothing. It's either email, text message, or nothing.
Yeah.
I could do the emails generally okay as long as it doesn't get lost in my pile of emails. Like I try and keep my email box fairly cleaned out. My apologies if you've emailed me and I haven't gotten back to you yet. I've not checked email like this week so far. I mean, let's see. Was it Monday? No, something happened Monday. I forget what it is. Tuesday, like I had a computer system go down. Wednesday, a friend of mine were doing something in the afternoon and he had to change the schedule to go earlier. So I got almost nothing done. And now we're on a Thursday. I've gotten an hour of billable work done for clients and not much else. And it's just like this week's just gone. I give up. I'm just going to blow tomorrow, just have an entire week of basically quasi vacation and be done with it.
Yeah.
But, so email, though, usually is one of the better ways to get a hold of me because I don't like carrying phones around and I don't like the other technologies either. So, yeah. Let's chat about this interesting one. So, of course, I like using the host files. I do not like extensions. I mean, I'm a WordPress developer. I know the problem with extensions. They become the security holes, the security vulnerabilities. I don't like extensions. And so what I want to do is I want to block things on my network, or I want to block things with the ad blockers. But now with the new Firefox, they're becoming more aggressive at pushing DNS over HTTPS, even with a canary domain set. So when you now install or even update to a newer version of Firefox, you'll see this little pop-up. Hey, we have these. It's just the same thing. So you're like, okay, whatever. And you're so used to condition to be saying, okay, whatever. Well, that one particular okay, whatever enables DNS over HTTPS. The problem with that protocol, and the reason why I think that protocol is so bad, is that's going to bypass your host file. It's going to bypass your network. It's going to bypass everything. And unless you're running browser extensions, you're going to see all the ads, even if your network explicitly blocks them. You're going to see, as was it Jeffrey said earlier about why they started using the pie hole? Jeffrey, if your granddaughter uses Firefox with DNS over HTTPS, pie hole is meaningless. They can get right around it, and that button is there is such that if you accidentally hit it, boom, it's off. That's it. And so that is kind of a problematic and challenging thing with DNS over HTTPS. It forces you to use explicitly a plugin, which I'm not a huge fan of. Do you guys
I've
have thoughts on
updated
that?
recently. I got spared with that question. It didn't
Maybe
ask
it's
me to
new. Maybe
select
it's
one or
just
the
new
other.
installs or something. I don't know. But you always want to double check, though. I mean, double check every now and again your network settings. Make sure it's not there. Now, the positive is it does actually allow me to break out of my network blocking for if I want to do things like, I think Google Analytics is even blocked on my network, a few other things. So if I need to check a Facebook account for somebody, hey, Firefox now has the ability to toggle that thing on, and I can get out of my out of my thing just to check it, deal with the ads for a little bit, and then I can actually get in there and use it, and then just toggle it off when you're done. Because I used to actually have to bypass the DNS on my whole computer to do that, which is kind of problematic. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. So ads, yeah, that's ads on that end. I don't know, anything else about ads?
Well, the thing that I think some of these larger corporations, I'm going to use Home Depot as an example. Now, it's not necessarily for maybe online ads, and they do their fair share, but the mentality is, and the reason I'm bringing them up is because years ago, God, it's probably almost 20 years ago now, the one that over here opened up, and I went to work there for a short time. In their training, one of the things they said is they would take anything. If somebody brought tires in, they don't sell tires, but they take it in. And we'd say, well, why do you do that? They say, because we look at each person walking through the door as $70,000 in potential income for this company. And so they said, even though it seems like you're being invasive and you're over advertising, they look at it as eventually, sooner or later, you're going to click on it. Even if it's once, there's going to be something that's going to come across that's going to pique your interest. And and think about it. How many times have you ever ignored ads for something? And then all of a sudden there was just something a little different about that ad that you may have thought, well, let me check this out, and then as soon as you do that, it's like you're dead in the water because then you showed interest,
Yeah.
and they keep coming. So
I don't know if you guys are like this or if anybody in the chat is like this. I am like the opposite. If you start showing me an ad over and over and over, it just destroys any potential brand loyalty I would have to you. Like
yeah.
I will get so irritated with your ad, I will go out of my way to not have to see you. I
Well,
mean,
exactly. And that was
yeah.
going to be the other point I was going to raise is that in my case, with a lot of these, I'll either hide them or tell, especially if they're, again, using Facebook as an example, you do get to a point where you get so sick of seeing something, now you purposely will not patronize them for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I tend to do that more than not than the other than to click on something.
Yeah, and that's kind of my approach, because it's like it is 2020. If you want me to use your service, have a website, have it be searchable, and when I'm looking for your service, go ahead and use it. So like when I moved over here, of course, anytime you leave an apartment, you should get the carpets cleaned. Usually it's in the leases. It's been in college towns where I am, it's in the leases. You got to have the carpets cleaned. So I call this company up, and he's like, really great guy. I mean, he was an awesome guy. He was right on time. In fact, he was a few minutes early, which like jives with me. And he was in and out of there, and he gave me a discount because of how easy it was to clean, because I had everything out of his way for him and gave him all the spots he was aware of. And it was so awesome. But man, calling him, he put me into his marketing system. How many times do I really need my carpet cleaned in a college town? But I got spam after spam after spam after spam
Right.
after spam after spam, to the point where I just went in and was like, I'm going to block you and I'm never using you again. Despite he had excellent service, he was an excellent guy. I mean, he did his job very well. He did his job very cheaply. But my God, you've driven me mad with your spam.
Yeah.
And so it's just caused brand loyalty. So now it's like it causes loathing and hatred in my heart when I see his truck drive by. It's like,
Was it just a single guy, or was it a subcontractor?
It's not a national brand. It wasn't a national brand service. We'll put it that way. So I think it might be either a single guy or at least a small company. I got the feeling it was a single guy.
A single guy with that kind of marketing power to make you angry at him.
I know. It's crazy.
That is nuts.
Well, advertising can be kind of a tricky thing. And, as an example, now it's obviously more costly to do this, but my wife, being a realtor, spends a fair amount of money on billboards. And now she's finally going to take a break. She's been doing it for I don't know how many years. She's going to take a little bit of break. But even I've been out of real estate since I think it was 2010 or something like that. Until this day, every so often somebody will come out, oh, yeah, I've seen you on a billboard. I haven't had a billboard up since 2010, with my picture on it. But the thing is it leaves a lasting impression even when it's not there. And in her case, what she does is she buys a bulk package of them. Maybe like last time there were 10 of them, but you spread it out and it's every 3 months. And sometimes, they're 30-day or 28-day arrangements. But if somebody doesn't want that spot, it'll sit up there. She's got one that's up there 3.5 months right now. Sometimes it go 4 or 5 months in one spot, and another one will have already started. So people get the impression that they see her all over town, even if she's only got one board up, because she moves them around. So there are proper ways of doing ads without spamming, because even billboards, you think, okay, billboards at $500-$600 or whatever they are, who's going to spam that kind of money? But when you're buying bulk packages of them, there are people that put 2 and 3 and 4 of them up at a time, so you're getting seen in different locations. The reality of it is one, and if you move it around, can do the same thing as having those 3 or 4 in different locations, because it's muscle memory,
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't know how you are, Tom. My wife laughs at me because one time there was this video rental place had moved over to a different location at one of the main drags going through town here. And I happened to notice it one day. I said, when did that move over there? Well, now it's since gone. But I said, when did it move over there? She goes, it's been there 2 years. How long have you been driving by there? So, for me, I'll notice a billboard, or excuse me, I may not notice a billboard as frequently. I do now because she does them. But yet I'll hear something on the radio that maybe she won't. So it depends on the media that you follow. That's why when you do have media ads, you'll see a lot of these places too. When you're talking about the spam, it's not just your emails. You get it. You think about postage. how much stuff you get in your junk mail, or
Yeah.
you know, there's all different ways of blanket marketing, and it can get overwhelming. You're right. You know, you kill a lot of trees with the stuff that comes in your mail.
Yeah. Now, there is
Yeah.
actually, for those people that hate the junk mail, there actually is a federal no junk mail list, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Now, if you use it online, it only lasts like 2 years. But if you write in, it's like a permanent thing. Like literally, it has cut out every bit of junk mail. It's like it actually works. It's shocking.
If it's like the telephone,
Yeah.
the
No, it's
telephone do
not.
not
Yeah,
call list, you
it's
know, it just
not. Yeah.
increase your junk mail.
Yeah, yeah, it does not. But no, it's like it's amazing. So it was really neat to see that, because it's like, again, if like even today, I went ahead and contacted a company because I was like, okay, this is a service I need. I'm going to go onto the internet, look them up, and call them and purchase their service because I knew they existed and it was a service I wanted. I was able to find them in one internet search. I actually think it took me two. I clicked on a wrong link.
Mhm.
And so that's the way you want to handle it with ads and stuff. I want to take a small parenthetical to address a question that's jumping in the chat from Bill. Why do people not want to use Java enable in Firefox? First and foremost, it's JavaScript. There's Java and there's JavaScript, two separate programming languages. They're different. JavaScript is a, yeah, there you go. JavaScript is a client-side programming language. The disadvantage with it is that it could allow you to, I mean, it does a lot of things. It can track your IP address. It can fingerprint your system. It can do a lot of bad, nefarious things. The downside with having it disabled is that many modern websites just won't work with it. You can disable it by going into about:config in Firefox and typing in the box there JavaScript. You can see, I forget the exact command, but you'll see it's there. It's enable. I think it's in javascript.enable or something like that. And just click on it, double click on it, and it'll toggle off. Now, the safer thing is what Buffy Foster says. The no script extension allows you to pick which sites allow JavaScript to run. That's the safer option if you don't know what you're doing with it. As much as I don't like extensions, that one is a decent extension. It has a good reputation, and it will block JavaScript on certain sites and allow it on others. So that's the thing about it. So anyway,
You know, on that,
parenthetical.
I was going to say on that note too, if you don't mind,
Yeah, go ahead.
Adobe, you know, the is going to be getting rid of their what their extension. What is that? The Flash player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know with Linux, here's the irony of this: the government site, our county site, there's a map that my wife has to bring up on some of her work, and lately, for some reason, one of those isn't working. There's some that do and some that don't on the county site, and that's going away in 6 months. So if they don't make themselves work, because she uses Mint, and so that's kind of, so I don't know exactly what's causing it to not work. I've had it on some, and then you go and she forgets to look up in the address bar. A lot of times there's a little message that's been blocked, whether it's on Firefox or even sometimes Google, and you just click it and say, yeah, allow it this time.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even working. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with it, but a lot of people are not aware of that extension, even whether it's activated or not. I think it's off by default, even in Chrome. And you can activate it when you want to. It's not always recommended because it leaves a back door open. So
yeah, frightening. And that's actually, that's kind of ties in. One of the reasons I think that lasts as long as it did is Flash allows you to store, I think it's like 10 or 100 times the size of cookies as your browser does. So that's why it persisted so long, is because of browser cookies and zombie cookies. So you could clear the cookies off your browser, but then if the page loads Flash, it just goes and repopulates them again automatically. It stores them all up there. And that's why I think that the reason it's dying now is because now Google and Microsoft has the auto login in their browser that will store all your cookies and data on their servers now. So yeah, they just kind of waited to get that function up because they didn't want to lose it. So that was that.
No.
Yeah. Dan, anything to add to the JavaScript or Flash stuff?
Well, yeah, I know Flash has been a problem for a long time, and I know it was one of the original video formats. I mean, I remember with Windows 95 and so on. You had to, if you wanted to watch a Flash video, you had to go to the Adobe site and download the Flash player and install it. JavaScript, I'm not that familiar with it, but I do know what it is. I really don't have anything to add to that.
Yeah. Fun fact, the first version of my web design website actually had a Flash menu. If you guys remember those Flash menus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd come up with a nice animation, come up, and the little moon would rise over and shoot across with the logo, and then the menu would pop up. It was a cool, trendy Web 2.0. You know?
They were what, SWF files or something like that, I think?
Yeah,
yes, that was one of them. I happen to know for a fact there it was and still is a few content creators that still use Flash because they paid for the whole package. They paid the high dollar for the Flash Content Creator Suite, and they use it for their openers and their closers to their YouTube videos.
Yeah.
They're kind of screaming about they have to give up that expense and go learn something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could do a lot of interesting things with it. YouTube's original design. Yeah, FLV is a Flash video. The SWF is the Flash files, the embeddable files. So, yeah.
Yeah, the Flash video, that's right. God, that brings back memories when you think about the old suite.
Those were the good old days. Web 2.0 out now. Yeah, well, now it's web, what are we on, Web 5.0? I don't know. I don't even think they have a name on it anymore. Modern web, responsive web. I get people like we need to make sure this thing works on phones too. It's like, where are you, 1995? Of course it's going to work on a phone.
Well, it still seems like the HTML5 doesn't work as well as it should on some sites yet.
Yeah, well, I think some of it is some people try and over flash the HTML5 and things, and it generally works well unless you're using super old browsers. But
right.
Yeah, indeed. See, was there anything else to talk about internet ads, or are we good? Oh, you're back from vacation, Kitty.
Speaking of internet ads, there's the model right there.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
There you go. There's an internet ad.
CJ, how you doing, buddy?
He's like, yeah.
Oh.
You waiting for your kitty treats, huh? Are ya? Waiting patiently? All right.
He always knows how to time it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he sure does.
I think he kind of figures it out from the tonal of things and stuff, so it'll
Where's your other? You got the other cat too.
Yeah, she does not like cameras. She might come around if I squeeze this bag nicely if she's close by, but indeed. All right, anything else, or should we have an earlier show? I don't know. Have a longer after show party. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of got that one down, and I think we covered enough ground. Though.
I have a question about something. If you want to just talk about it a minute, is I've been seeing a lot of these posts now that Linux is really gaining more ground, if you want to call it that, inside with the WSL. And it's funny how many people now are getting led, and I say that loosely, being led to believe that you don't have to dual boot anymore because you'll have Linux right inside Windows, and it's the same. And they don't realize it's still not really the same thing. It's not the
same. No, it's basically it's basically like running a Linux server on a terminal. Same thing I do with a VirtualBox on my other computer, where I boot the thing up and I can run it like a web server. But I don't have I don't really have all of the ability there to run the full suite of Linux exactly as it is. So
okay, does Windows actually take Linux and run it side by side as an equal, or is one a virtual machine and the other is not?
It's sort of like a virtual machine, to my understanding.
It's Linux sandboxed.
Yes and no, because the things I've been hearing and reading are talking about it running side by side is the way they're putting it out there. So I think they're leading you to believe that it is almost as if you're dual booting, but yet you're able to run the ability of running it simultaneously. And
That means you have two kernels running because you need the Linux kernel to take care of the hardware for the Linux to work.
Well, supposedly that's why Windows is adapting the Linux kernel into their core.
Which is
that
frightening.
would make Windows be one bloated kernel.
It's already one bloated kernel.
Yeah, but the way my impression was I don't know that they're actually adding it to. I think they were supposed to eventually be replacing it with. Is what I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to be misspeaking.
Yeah, there's been some different talk about different directions and things. So
you are running an actual distro, a full-blown distro, and you're not, and they don't realize that. Yes, you can run some applications within it and stuff like that, Linux applications, but you're still don't have the same ability that you do running an independent distro.
Like they don't have a fully functional GUI. So I think the X server is missing. So there's a lot in there that it can't do. That's why, like I said, it's more like a server than anything else. It will allow you to do some basic development stuff, but the only GUI option you have is the new GUI option that they're giving you in Windows in the latest version. Yeah. So WSL is Windows subset for Linux. So it allows you to basically run Linux like inside of Windows is basically what
and a lot of it's just guest talk because Windows is proprietary. We don't know what they put in it to make it work.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. But hey, they're committed to open source. They released the calculator code.
Yeah, right.
Give us a calculator.
When we start seeing them release real active things right now, then we'll understand.
Well, they're into the extend part
now. Microsoft hards Windows.
Yeah, right.
Linux.
Like I said, we're waiting to see. Now we're into the extend part of it. We'll see if Extinguish follows along with it or how soon behind. I doubt that happens soon, but there still is that genuine concern.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, they've changed. See what they're saying? Well, that's exactly what you would expect. You want them to come out, and we're not going to get it in a hot second. My OBS is teetering.
Yeah, because you really don't have very many distros left that are independently based. DT did a video yesterday released on how many actual real videos have come and gone. And it was really interesting because now all you have is like Debian based, Ubuntu based, Arch based. Gentoo's on a thin line because it has a couple of developers and a few of the other ones that are just one or two people handling the whole project.
Correction, you meant to say distros.
Yeah, distros.
Yeah.
Yeah, Solus is another one, and there's not a lot. Yeah, you're right. There's not a lot.
And I give anybody credit who tries to come up with something and, get it used out there. I mean, that's fine. And that's the beauty of this. But I don't know. Judging it comes. I always use the adage. It's the old adage that keep your friends closer, your enemies closer, and that's the way I look at what Windows might be doing with us. That's why I'm suspect. I'm not normally into this conspiracy theories all the time, but where they're concerned, there's such a mistrust, and they've earned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really have.
And look what they're doing now. I mean, they had 129 updates that came out on their Tuesday update release day because they're just bleeding it right now. The system Windows right now is becoming so unstable as of the last week or two. But I'm sure eventually we'll get it corrected. But it's just, to me, that in itself, there used to be the argument that Linux was not stable and you couldn't trust it and it would always break or whatever. And I think that's completely untrue in these days. I mean, you could still have a break here and there, but when every week it seems like there's something plaguing the Windows side, which is a good thing for us, I guess, to a point, but it still doesn't get rid of the diehard users. I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people that just can't switch to Linux because of the software and things that they need to run, which I get that and understand that.
Yeah.
But
and that's what I do here. I've got my books over there. We've talked many times about that, and that's the only time that machine goes on. And I just leave it offline. So
that's the way to go. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. So give us your final thoughts, then we'll do the after show. So, Dan, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Okay. Final thoughts are, if you got favorite YouTube content creators out there, please turn your ad blocker off and give them a little love. Web pages you got to read that have the YouTube video in the corner, the little box. It's kind of up in the air to me whether those things are running while you switch to another tab to read something else. So I feel it's best just to close that tab when you're done with it. With that said, that's my thoughts on it.
All right, Joe, final thoughts?
Well, I think ads are important to have in this world, but the thing is trying to control the level of what you're being inundated with, because that's what it's coming down to now. You just do the best thing you can, and the best way you can control it is just, don't go online as much as you normally do unless you have to do something specific, or you just learn to live with some of this. But I do think I agree with Dan, that if you run an ad blocker, as I do too, is just use it as, a lot of people don't realize there's filters in there, and run those filters to be able to let the ads through on the sites that you do enjoy and want to support. A lot of people can't always necessarily take money out of their pocket. So this is another way of giving by your time, because you're going to be watching a video anyway. So I think, and it's not all just videos. There's other things too. There's other sources of media or whatever or methods of whether it's affiliate links, which you have, Tom, for purchasing things, whatever. If you're going to go to Amazon, use one of your favorite content providers or affiliate links, and offer the support you can through that way. And that's a method of ads too. So, but so kind of pick and choose.
Yeah, we are experiencing a double catter over here, but I don't have a means to get the other cat on the camera right now with this new setup. We had a double catter, but the other cat ran off. He got a treat, but yeah, that's right. Your sister.
Think of it this way: if you're stuck at home because of the COVID situation and you can't go to work and you're watching YouTube ads, turn your ad blocker off. Chances are your content creator is out of work too and could use the extra money.
Yep.
Yeah. I am streaming again tonight in 1 hour on my Christian site. We are wrapping up the second chapter of the first book of Peter. So if you guys want to jump on over to watch that show, that's on my Christian channel over there. I dropped a link there in the chat. So you can come on over and have a look at that. And that will be at 9 o'clock Eastern time, which is 1 hour from now. So we'll be over there. So we will catch you guys over there or tomorrow for the weekly news roundup. So with that, thanks for hanging out, everybody. And we will catch you guys later.
Night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.